Hey, what's up guys? It's Art Book Addiction here, and we're here with a new type of video, right? So, I wanted to start doing a different type of video where I kind of talk about my opinions and theories about, the artist's journey as a whole and just different aspects, right? This is not going to be like a be-all, end-all for philosophy on art, right? I'm not gonna say that I'm like the ultimate authority, but I'm a trained artist, and I'd like to start talking about my views on what it means to be on the artist's journey, right? And then picking certain subject matter for these videos, right? So for today's video, we're going to be talking about the beginning, right? And so when we're talking about the beginning of an artist, right, it really differs between person to person, what really gets you at first, right? And for me personally, I think for a lot of people, when you're a kid, it starts with cartoons, right, or video games or what have you, right? Just seeing something that's animated, something that's drawn, right? Maybe an anime, maybe just a '90s cartoon. Maybe for me, I really like Courage the Cowardly Dog, and that's a big one. SpongeBob, huge, right? But either way, all of our artist journeys start in a different place, but they begin, right? And when you first start drawing, it's deviant art. Right, let's keep it at that. Right, it's deviant art. Right, it's very honest. It's very strangely like it has some sexual connotation. Right, it's part of the growing up of a person. Right in there. Sometimes it's just really nerdy. Sometimes it's really it's pure want, pure desire. Right, or you want to capture something. And it's what you think is going to be the best, what you think would be the best combination, and maybe that's good or bad, but it's not. It's the one thing that's important is that that it's true, okay? And knowing that fact is very important because, like I said in the beginning, when you're drawing, there is little to no motivation for drawing, right? You're just going for it, okay? Because you want to draw, right? And the thing is when people first start out, it's gonna be bad, because there's the lack of skill, but the wanting to draw is huge, okay? That's the biggest part of this, right? So it's like I said, it's like primordial soup, okay? It's like the first cell being born, in a pool of boiling water, you know what I mean? In this just weird thing, and it's your brain doesn't even know what you're doing, right? But it comes out when you make a mark, right? You got a piece of paper, you make a mark, boom, okay? And from that, some people, they fall off. Some people they keep it. Some people they decide to I'm gonna make this what I want to do, or this is just a hobby, right? Either way, whatever kind of artist you are, this is the beginning, right? The first phases, basically, okay? And it's very important because you gotta know what kind of fuels your art, right? Because when you're a child, I feel there's no conviction, there's no complex thought behind it, right? It's just the pure wanting to draw, wanting to create something, right? And that I feel that is more important than because I've met a lot of artists, right? And oh, I draw because dude, my father, he passed away, and he told me I want you to draw, dude, this and that, and, I want you to pursue your dreams, that stuff is great, and yes, it can really push you further, but in terms of motivation, it runs out, or you're doing it out of spite, I'm gonna draw, dude, because this and that, stuff like that, like, it can be helpful. It could also be dangerous. You know what I mean? It could also affect your work, but like in a good way, in a bad way. It doesn't really matter, right? But the point is that those things are temporary. Okay, like once you run out of that fuel, you're gonna wonder like, well, why do I draw? A lot of people come up and then they just, why do I draw after that, right? And for me, like, I've had my own, like, I've convinced myself before that, like, oh, it's because of, like, this traumatizing event, or, oh, it's because of this emotional thing, and it's like, in reality, like I said, those things don't last, okay? But the thing that does last, okay, is keeping that purity, right, as a child. And when I'm talking about purity, I'm talking about like the innocence of like creation, right? Like basically, it's when you're just like, oh, I want to create something simply because I want to create, right? It's just like something that I do. It helps me, right? Like that's. I think really big for a kid, right? I think a lot of us, right, who do draw, right, use it as a means of like coping with the hardships of life, right? And it becomes like kind of like a safe haven where you can be yourself, right, in art form, right? Not like you're outputting your own energy into something, and then it becomes a creation, right? And that's big, that's huge. And what's really great about it is that like a child can draw, right? And a man who's in his 90s can be drawing as well, right? And yet there's still like that infinite journey. It's a never-ending cycle, right? So that like this is the artist's journey, right? This is the beginnings, the little sparks of ember, right, that become something much larger, right? So it really depends on the fire within you, like how does it get stoked? How does it like spark up and become much bigger, right? Like what happens if you feed it, right, fuel? What does it become? Okay, so like I said, let's go back to like I said, I'm focusing on the beginnings, right? So I said like the embers, the start, right, the little kindling, right? And as a kid, you start to draw more, and then you're like, okay, well, can I do something more complex, right? And then it becomes something in your mind, and then people, they see it and they respond to it, and they're like, oh, I like that. You made something. I'm like, any artist who's made something has like they've made something as a kid, they showed it to their friend, and they're like, bro, dude, this shit legit, dude, and then you're like, oh, dude, thank you, dude, I worked really hard, and then it's like you get rewarded for working hard and for something that you cared about, right? And like I feel like very few things quite as validating as that, right? Whether you're good or not, like that proud feeling is very important to a child's development, and that's why a lot of us are like emotionally combined, emotionally invested in our artwork, right? Like when you're like, especially when like someone's getting critiqued, it's like they hit something on the art, and it's like, oh, I got hit too, but there's a separation that needs to be made, right? But there cannot be a lie where we say that there isn't an emotional connection with our art. It's like to me, it's like our kids, right? We're just like raising them up, making them good, making them great, and then when you're ready to show them off, right? It's like the culmination of your work. So of course it's gonna be disappointing if someone is like, oh, well, the shoulder is off, or like if they're being like that, they're being like nitpicky or some shit, or if they're being too technical, right? Or if they're not observing the piece as a whole, and you're like, okay, like, yes, I understand, but like, do you think that the message is working, right? It's that all has to do with critique, right? So yeah, basically, people have an emotional connection to their art, right? And that's very important too. And all these things culminate, right? They it's like a cycle. They go into each other, and then you look at more art, and you get inspired, and then you create more, and then you go up, and then your skill goes up, and then it's just, it's an infinite cycle of progress, right? And these are things that people go on for a lifetime, right? I plan to, right? I hope a lot of other people plan to. I know, my friends do as well, and that is the artist's journey, right? And this is just the beginning, right? I think I'm gonna end the video there, guys, right? I'm gonna, before I dip into other things, but like I said, this is the beginning, okay? The beginning of the artist's journey, okay? And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this face reveal, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing a new, different type of content, right? Please, if you like the video, leave a like on the video. Please hit that subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me how you guys feel about this new format, like what I'm talking about. The subject matter, the beginning, your beginnings, right? And ring that bell for notification, right? And something new, right? I need to add something, right? Please check out my prints down below, okay? I need to start pushing my prints more. That was kind of the purpose of the channel, and I feel like I was like kind of scared, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't show off my prints, maybe, but I'm like, people just don't even know about it. So please, you guys enjoy my channel, please check out my prints in the website link down below, all right? And all that bullshit. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot.